Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Pruitt. I'm the Global CMO of Stagwell Brand Performance Network, and we're here from Stagwell Sport Beach Clubhouse in New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
So fun.
Yay! We're celebrating the intersection of sport and culture and discussing the future of fandom and some of the biggest names in business, like you. I am here with my friend Kathryn Frederick, who is the CMO of the Los Angeles Rams. Welcome,
Go
Kat.
Rams.
Go Rams. I gotta say, I was rooting for the Rams.
I'm mildly still not over it, and it has factored into who I'm rooting for on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I might ask that at the end. I'm just saying. Also, same girl, same. Okay, so let's start. It's a little bit somber to start, actually. We both live in LA. It's been a very surreal time for all of us. I might cry, still cry.
I understand.
And it's really interesting because obviously I'm a friend and a fan. And to watch firsthand sort of what you did, your brand positioning is defiantly original, which I love. And it's been amazing. And the way you've translated that into culture, well done, you. And the team. But can you just talk a little bit about kind of how that's showing up right now, like in the last month? And don't talk about the movement yet that you had to make, like in terms of the actual playoffs.
Sure.
But talk a little bit about, if you would, like how is that actually shining through?
Yeah, I think defiantly original applies to so much of our brand, and shout out to 72 and Sunny for really leading us through the galvanization of that brand positioning. I think that absolutely applies to the football team, the ethos on how they build roster development, how they are so advanced and creative with play and scheme design, but it also applies to who we are as an organization. I think it is really important that positioning understand that we have a core value around service, and that service to the community is one of our first and foremost obligations.
And you really, this is sort of a great segue into the next question because, again, during that time period, right, first week in January, you're in the playoffs. You were supposed to play at home against the Arizona Cardinals. We were all ready for it and excited. And you had to make some pretty swift decisions in that moment.
Sure.
And also, at the same time, back to your community statement, you galvanized the community. So can you talk a little bit about, what was that process like? Like, how did that really land for all of you? And then what did you do in that moment where you did these beautiful community, give backs and all the things?
For sure.
Can you just talk a little bit about that?
I think there's, when you go through such an acute crisis like these devastating fires, it's really hard to process on multiple levels, right? You first think about yourself and your family and make sure that everyone is safe and secure. You're thinking about, for me, it was my team, which is sprawled across all parts of LA. And so when you think about Altadena, you think about the Palisades, you think about the Kenneth Fire, you think about the Sunset Fire, like
so many
you
things
begin
at
to
once, yeah.
process that the strain to do this thing that you're so excited about. You've earned a berth to host a wild card game at home. And during my tenure, I started in 21, there was eerily hearkening back to, we were the 4 seed in 21. We held the wild card against the Arizona Cardinals. Like, it felt very like we've been here and we know how to do this, and we know how to do this in a way that celebrates this incredible city. And during that week, it was also like, we need a tone shift because there are people in our community that are suffering, and how can we use this moment like we used the Monday night game against the Chiefs several years back to really rally and stand up for our community. And so we had already begun pivoting the show in such a way, but also, what does the community need right now? Are there people who are being displaced? Are there things that we can help provide? Are there season ticket members? Are there fans? And then you also think about, this is now starting to encroach very much into our player and staff communities. So how do you process all of that? And thank goodness for someone like, our president, Kevin Demoff, who is very clear and concise. We're going to do what's right for our people. We do right by our people, and it's truly one of the values that shines through in this organization. But you're also thinking about what responsibility. There are so many first responders out there. What is our first response? And it really is to think about, what does this community need? How do we reach out to the people within it and make sure that we understand, is it food? Is it shelter? Is it clothing? Is it all of these things that we can help galvanize not only our network, but our network of incredible partners to come together and be the force for good during a crisis. And I find that a really privileged place to be. But I think that honor means you have to step up and you have to be the galvanizer for good.
Yeah. And you were. I mean, also you made some tough, like you moved the game immediately to Arizona, which was a big deal. And then if anybody watched the game, it was so, I mean, Fanatics did a collab, right, with and it was this LA Strong, and you could pick your team.
Yeah.
I ordered my sweatshirt, and it's at my house right now.
I mean, demand was so high. And all of sports across LA banding together, not only to put out sort of a charity raising vehicle with these LA Strong shirts, but being able to do things that really were celebrations of the journey to build back.
Yeah.
Because I think when you go through these crises, you understand how everyone is able to respond acutely in this moment. But we know this is going to be a long journey. How do you ensure that the Rams will be by your side every step of the way? And so our platform that we use with LA Together also meant, hey, how do we band together as a staff? How do we celebrate these people who are working day and night? So having our players and our coaches in LAFD hats, our in LAFD shirts, to have Andrew Whitworth really deliver an incredible testimony to the resilience of LA, and that how we will be back, and we will be back stronger. And what I've seen throughout the community, everything from our Fanatics Essentials Drive at SoFi, which also happened at Dodger Stadium and at BMO. It's just incredible to be able to use these forces collectively, but also keep our ears to the ground of what needs do we have next. And I don't think that for us, we've responded. We had Malama Maui when Maui went through their wildfires, the Woolsey fire, and all of these different places. So it is in our DNA. And it's a great muscle to be able to flex. But I also think it threads through because we're human. And this is part of the emotions we're actually feeling as a community, to ensure, when I think about our positioning for the year, how does that thread through as a constant drumbeat in order to ensure that people don't think this is over, that people are fine tomorrow. This is a long road to recovery, and one that we're excited to think through strategically on how we show up in as many ways as we can.
And I mean, I will say about your whole team, I love your whole team. I'm an honorary brand.
You really are.
Thank you.
An incredible marketing staff partner.
I'm an ambassador. And I think, and moving to something like a little lighter, which is, and I think actually it dovetails off what we just said, which is, or what you just said, which is like, community and fans are at the heart of what you do, right? And how you show up in every way. And this has been put a test to the way that you show up in a really difficult situation. But day in and day out, you're also creating and innovating the fan experience. And so again, a little bit lighter note, but you've definitely been on the forefront of technology and innovation in the fan experience, including working with one of our own agencies around. And, I would that as a team, right, was really unusual, right? That was you sort of have set a precedent of everyone else to keep up with, I think, as a marketer.
I appreciate you, Shannon, so much.
And, But that's a lot of work, and it's a whole year thing, right? It's not just a season. It's an all year thing. How do you keep innovating and outdoing yourselves, which is really remarkable. It's very impressive.
Well,
How do you do that?
I think when you challenge yourself with a positioning like Defiantly Original, tried and true just doesn't work, right? Like,
Yeah.
seen there, been there, done that.
Yeah.
If you can say those words, it's probably not for us. Whether you call it, I have turned my lack of experience of, a lot of my comrades across the marketing field, across the football, have been in it for so long, right? There's a rhythm, there's a routine. Having come from the outside of football, from Live Nation and from Ticketmaster, where you're thinking about everything comes down to that consumer experience. That fan experience is paramount. It equates to lifelong fandom, right? Whether it's Taylor Swift, Beyonce, the Rams, all of that. And how do you have that same emotional connectivity? And you do it because what sets the stage for these lifelong memories is the sights, the sounds, the experiences, and it's not just the plays on the field. So when you think about that, how do you curate a content experience that feels custom and feels like you're talking to me one-to-one? And how is that different on TikTok than it is on Snapchat, that it is on YouTube, to how that then translates into the bowl? And when we think about the privilege we have with the infinity screen to really keep people from having, well, now their third screening, because you have this incredible thing that allows people not just to root for the team, but to be engaged and understand the success. And when you're able to see like a Carnival cruise ship powered by a round come through that bowl and then take you up to Alaska or take you and transport you places, you now make that experience not a prototypical been there, done that football game. And so I consider, especially given my background in live events, that everything is entertainment. And from the minute you leave your house to the minute that you leave the game, how have you felt like you've gotten extraordinary value for your money, but that we've also kept you engaged the whole way through?
Yeah. And you've done a tremendous job. And you've done a tremendous job in, I started in sports. And, this idea that you always have sort of the same type of endemic sponsors. And you really opened up a whole new realm of how partnership can work in sports. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. And also your commercial team led by Jennifer Prince.
Jennifer Prince.
We love Jennifer Prince.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, exactly. So that is all the time we have. But thank you so much for joining me. You're always wonderful and insightful. And actually, I learned a lot today, which I love.
Well, and I am so grateful overall for the amount of engagement, whether or not we have, papered SOWs or not, that you guys have been such just an innovative and creative and challenging in a good way.
Challenger Network.
In a good way to help us advance our thinking. So we're very grateful for all that we have together.
Yay. Well, thank you again. And for those of you out there, you can follow us at #SportBeach2025 and find us on social across the LinkedIns and the YouTubes. And thanks for joining us. Thanks, Kat.